Australia. Since the year 2000, crippling drought has become the status quo in much of Queensland and New South Wales, where farmers are hurting.
What we're looking at with these people is we're getting towards 2 years without income, and I don't think any reasonable person would say, well, 2 years without income is just something that is par for the course.
Today, despite tough talk on handouts, the PM's extended a lifeline to our farmers.
If your farmer's in dire drought, you can't sell, you can't borrow, you can't leave, but you've got no money.
It's a $320 million package that will make it easier for drought-affected farmers to get income support, assist them in accessing water, pest management and mental health services. But the bulk of the package will come in the form of $280 million worth of low-interest loans. But while the assistance has been welcomed by some,
refinancing the loan in the way the government is proposing is a step in the right direction because it will allow us to put food on the table, pay the bills and mitigate against seasonal changes that we live with.
Others believe the package is a step in the wrong direction.
The finance provides a concession interest rate to the farmers for 5 years, but at the end of that, if they haven't improved their debt situation, they'll still have to go back to their bank for that finance.
So has the government got this right? Is this package going to be enough to help farmers in crisis get through the drought?
Federal Agriculture Minister Barnaby Joyce joins us now. Barnaby, some have criticised this package as too little too late. What do you think?
Well, Charlie, what we had in the first instance is that we've actually had a drought package that I got through in its first iteration. That was late last year. This is the second iteration, $280 million of concessional loans at 4%, allowing people the dignity back into their house by giving them access to the social security benefits that you and I expect, so they can pay their power bills, pay their phone bills, pay the chemist, and basically walk down the street without everybody looking at them as a person who can't pay their bills. Because these people, Charlie, they didn't even have access to social security. They literally had no money.
Well, we spoke to a guy today by the name of Jeff, who's a farmer in Queensland. This is what he had to say about it. Have a listen.
$1 million concessional loan that the government would take over really isn't enough, because by the time you pay breakage fees and changeover fees and all these fees that banks put on us, it's not worth the changeover, just $1 million.
What do you say to that?
We will be in negotiations with the banks, and we have been already. We don't want people to try and exploit their clients, and I don't think that's a sensible thing to do in the long term, and it will be looked on very poorly by ourselves, considering that the Australian government, you and yourself and your listeners, underwrote the banks for $880 billion during the global financial crisis. So that's kind of a substantial favour.
Barnaby, how is assisting farmers any different to assisting our troubled manufacturing industry or SPC?
Yeah, sure. Well, the big difference would be this. SPC is part of Coca-Cola Amatil, and I'm so glad that SPC is keeping their processing sector in Shepparton open. If they presented for this package, I don't think they would tick the needs box. And that would be the same with so many farmers. So they turn up and say, look, you've got ample resources yourself. I don't think it's the same thing.
Barnaby, we just looked at a picture of a Spanish politician in Parliament. I'm wondering if you've ever been this bored that you've been led to do this. This is him in Parliament. Has that ever happened to you, Barnaby? Have you ever reached that stage?
I'll tell you what, no, and it goes to show you that he doesn't have broadband connection.
Barnaby, do you subscribe to any guitar publications?
No, I don't. But, you know, it's just that Latin blood, that hot blood. Good luck to them, anyway.
I'm glad we made it about race. Barnaby, thanks very much for your time.
I think it's time for another break.